we're just scrolling through photographs from graduation this past weekend, which was amazing. And yeah, so we're just taking a minute to show some of our photos of our joyful graduates, both bachelor's and master's degrees at Tulane this past weekend. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and start. My name is Suri Deitch, and I'm Dean of the School of Professional Advancement. And I'm on just at the beginning of this webinar to welcome you. I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen. Again, with these beautiful photographs of our commencement ceremony this past weekend. I'm on this webinar with my colleagues, Hope Anderson and Sheila Gold from our admissions team. And if you are able to put your name and where you're calling in from and your the program that you're interested in, we would love to see that at the chat, in the chat box at the bottom of the screen. I'll just say before I hand things off to Hope and Sheila that we are excited to welcome you to learning more about the School of Professional Advancement today. Our undergraduate programs, bachelor's and bachelor's degrees and certificate programs. If you saw the quick glimpse of the graduation photographs, I think it says a lot about SoPA to see who went through commencement this past Saturday. We have an incredible range of programs and an incredible range of students, and our genuinely welcoming institution that offers programs that are worthy of the Tulane name, which means that we work really hard to support our students so our students can work really hard to do well academically. And we're excited that you're interested in learning more about what we have to offer. And with that, I will hand things over to Sheila and Hope. And again, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Suri. And once again, everybody, thank you for joining our webinar. And if you get a minute, drop your name and where you're calling in from in the chat at the bottom of the screen. And I just dropped in a little welcome to everybody so you can sort of reply to that. So I'm the Executive Director of Admissions for Tulane SoPA. I'm joined by my colleague Hope Anderson, who is the admissions counselor, and we're going to walk you through a little bit about our programs, our application process, answer some questions that you may have, and then we're going to share our contact information so that moving forward, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us. We enjoy getting to know students, so please feel free to contact us after this webinar as well. So a little bit about our school, Hope, if you want to. So a little bit about SoPA. SoPA is short for the School of Professional Advancement. Tulane University is one large university made up of 9 different small schools, one of which is the School of Professional Advancement. The university itself was founded in 1834 as the Medical College of Louisiana. Then a short 50 years later, which really in the history of the school is not very long at all, the School of Professional Advancement was founded. It was founded to begin offering evening classes to working adult learners within the New Orleans community. So our commitment has always been to professionals who are looking to either go back to school and finish a degree or get an additional degree so that they can either advance in their career or change their career. So you will find that we are focused on learners who need some flexibility and who are also that non-traditional, not necessarily coming straight out of high school at 18 years old learner who is juggling maybe working and also family commitments. So some of the things that we're going to touch on in this webinar is we're going to talk about our online courses. Part of the flexibility that we offer to working adults is that we do offer the majority of our classes online. You don't have to take your classes online, but you have the flexibility to if needed. We're going to talk about our specific programs and the type of faculty that support our programs. Some of what we offer students in terms of support, advising, career advising, and the way that we help students not only get into the school, but also graduate. We'll talk a little bit about our tuition rate, which is a little bit lower than the rest of the university, and that is on purpose. And so I think that you all will want to hear about that. And then also the fact that all of this is backed up by the Tulane name. So top 40 university, very prestigious, nationally recognized. So a little bit about our online classes. Folks learned a lot about online classes when the pandemic hit. But what's important for prospective students to know is that Tulane SoPA has actually been in the online space for years, well before COVID affected how students had to attend classes. We have instructional designers that are part of our full-time academic team, and these are master's level educated professionals whose entire job is to think about creating curriculum that can be delivered online to students. And the reason that we employ instructional designers is because we look for creative ways to engage learners where they can work in small groups, where they can get to know each other and create a classroom culture, where they can do online simulations, where they can do small group work and collaborate with each other. So it's not just simply sort of like clicking through a PowerPoint and answering questions or taking a test. This is a very engaged model of learning for our students. And it's, we call it online learning, but what we really should call it is remote learning. And what that means is that you don't necessarily have to drive to a building on a rainy day like today and get out of your car and go to a class. You can take the class from different areas, but it's very much similar and engaging like an in-classroom experience. So just a little bit of data about our online learning, because we like sharing that. We've educated close to 14,000 students in almost 32,000 hours of online coursework. And like I said, we've been doing this since about 2018. So we have thousands of students who have experienced learning this way very successfully, and we get good feedback from them. And of course, we have become experts in the field over 32,000 hours of teaching. We specifically train our faculty. Over 200 faculty have been trained how to be instructional educators in the online space. And so students will feel like they get engaged and get to know their classmates and their faculty through this process. So just some of the courses and degrees that we offer, we have 8 master's degrees, 19 certificates, 4 post-baccalaureate certificates, and over 300 courses that have all specifically been developed to be taught in the online space. So just a little bit about our faculty. Our faculty are all what we call professors of practice. And what that means is that they're all practitioners in the fields in which they teach. So for instance, if any of you all are interested in our paralegal studies program, one of our faculty members is Patricia Betancourt, who's a litigation expert. She's a current acting attorney. She's a litigator, and she teaches some of our litigation classes. So you learn from actual professionals who are doing the job that you eventually want to do. One of our English professors is Bo Boudreau. Bo Boudreau teaches, but he's also a publishing poet. So when he teaches writing, he does it from the perspective of a writer. He can help you learn how to write, become published if that's what you're interested in doing, and give you tips and tricks professionally. Tyra Mitchell is our assistant director in our kinesiology program. She's a doctoral level physical therapist therapist, and she's the former chief of physical therapy at Ochsner Health Systems. And Ralph Russo, who's the program director for our IT and cyber program, is a former NYPD police officer, but he's also an expert in counterintelligence. And he actually developed the first cyber and counterintelligence department at NYPD after 9/11. So you're not just learning from people who study this, you're learning from people who actually do this work. And of course, all of these folks offer their professional connections to our students, which end up helping them get jobs upon graduation. So on our screen are the bachelor's degrees that we specifically offer at SoPA. So at SoPA, we offer our own distinct bachelor's degrees. The ones that we offer here on the screen: digital design, digital media and marketing, exercise science, general legal studies, health and wellness, homeland security, humanities, which is sort of a make your own major almost. It's the histories and the Englishes, those types of courses. The humanities related courses, art history, communications, those types of classes, information technology, which is IT, public relations, and then a BA in social sciences, which is all the social sciences, poli-sci, sociology, those types of courses. So you can get a very broad-based humanities or social science degree that you sort of create and pick the classes that are interesting to you. I'm not going to read all of our certificates, but we do offer a series of post-baccalaureate certificates and professional certificates. Our post-baccalaureate certificates are undergraduate courses, but they all require that you already have a bachelor's degree. So they're not graduate level courses, but they do require a bachelor's degree. Our professional certificates do not require a bachelor's degree, but they do offer a specialization and a small cluster of courses. So if you're not interested in pursuing an entire bachelor's, but want to go back and just get a certificate that gives you some expertise and might give you an advantage on your resume, a professional certificate may be interesting for you to explore. So we offer what's called credit for prior learning, and this is interesting for students to understand a little bit more about. Because we know that many of our students are coming from the workforce and might have extensive experience in certain professional areas. If you're pursuing a degree and you feel like you already have expertise in an area of a class that you might have to take, you can work with your advisor to try and get exempted out of that class by demonstrating that you already have the knowledge that you need to have based on the syllabus for the class. So you can receive up to 24 hours, credit hours of courses, which is essentially eight courses. All of our classes are 3 credit hours. If you feel like for 8 different classes, you already have that experience, that saves you time and money towards graduation. We often will give credit for military training and for other expertise. So for instance, if you are interested in our paralegal studies program, but you've been working in a law office, and so you might already have some of the knowledge and may not need to take some classes, you can work with your advisor to demonstrate that you have that knowledge, and you'll have to do a portfolio assessment and provide some other paperwork, and you'll be able to get credit for courses. So one of the things that I think distinguishes SoPA from other schools is that we have very close academic advisors with our students. Our academic advisors virtually can be reached every day. You can put an appointment on their calendars through a link. So if you wake up one morning and think, oh, I have a question for my advisor, it's not like you have to wait 10 days in order to get an appointment. You can literally just book one that day. They are very responsive to our students, and our students actually have 2 advisors. They have an academic advisor and they have a faculty advisor. Because you have 2 different advisors, we work with students very closely to make sure that you successfully complete your classes and also reach graduation dates. So we're not interested in just enrolling students, we're interested in graduating students. We also have our own dedicated career advisor who is not shared with the rest of the university. And she's available to help students with their resume, with their LinkedIn page, to help students do mock interviews if you have job interviews. And almost every single one of our faculty advisors has jobs that they get. They run their own job boards. So virtually weekly, you'll get job postings before they even hit Indeed or LinkedIn or other places. Our students get a bite of the apple first. And so being able to have access to those potential job openings, we feel like gives our students a competitive advantage. Yes, we do accept military transcripts. Quite often we do. So go ahead and send those to us. And there's some information about that on our website too. Okay, so I am going to pass things over to my colleague Hope, and she's going to tell you a little bit about tuition and applying to the school.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today to hear information about our school, SoPA, School of Professional Advancement. So I want to talk about the affordability to attend SoPA. And it's affordable because our price point is much lower than the other Tulane schools. Our tuition rate starting in the fall is $596 per credit, and each of our classes consists of 3 credit hours. Our tuition rates are also low, and we do not assess a lot of fees. It's important to consider this when you are comparing other schools and their tuition. Their fees usually double their tuition when they're added. And every semester, we generally have 2 fees that are added, which is the academic support fee and the student activity fee, which never exceeds more than $48. Also, some courses may have minimal fees to support the technology need for a high quality virtual and on-ground experience. But those classes that do require those fees, that will be listed on our class schedule website, and you'll identify those when you're registering for courses. So SoPA, Tulane University, does offer financial assistance to help educational costs for students, for those that may qualify. And that financial aid, those financial assistance would be federal grants and loans. So if you need to determine if you're eligible, we recommend you contact the financial aid department here at Tulane University. And if you need that information, I'll be glad to drop that in the chat. Some of the other financial assistance options that are offered is SoPA offers up to 10 plus 20% tuition discount scholarships. If you notice, yellow ribbon for military, 20% for active military, K through 12 instructional staff, and Phi Theta Kappa, are just to name a few. As Sheila stated, the 24 credits for life and work experiences are also optional. Applying is simple. You need to complete your application. There's a $40 undergraduate fee. And if you're attending this webinar today, that fee is going to be waived. You will need to upload a clear and updated current full government issued ID, driver license, a state issued ID, or a passport. And we also require that you submit official transcripts. The physical and email address for the transcript deliveries are listed on the application, but if you're not able to locate them, please contact the school. When they sent to different schools other than SoPA, kind of slows down your admission process. We also every semester have these established application deadlines. And if you notice, summer, our past deadline was May 1st. Next semester, fall, the deadline will be August 1st. But I would like to just suggest not waiting to the deadline to apply, because when you factor in the time that it takes for you to, one, apply for financial aid, request official documents, sometimes you can go over those deadlines and then you're pushed in a little crunch time. So I would always say, don't wait till the deadline, but also you want to try and enroll early to qualify for a one-time early scholarship. It's for a one-time early enrollment of $200. You must be registered for classes by the deadline, which the upcoming semester would be June 1st. Again, I want to thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, please give us a call. And I'm going to turn back to Sheila.
Thanks, Hope. So we appreciate you all being with us. My contact information is on the screen. If you have any questions, please email me. I'm generally easier to reach by email than I am by phone, sgold@tulane.edu. We love to hear from prospective students. We love to get to know our students. And so when you reach out to us, we start our relationship with you, and we find that to be actually the most fun part of our job. So definitely don't be shy. Like Hope said, our next term that we're enrolling for right now is fall. But if you go ahead and apply, get accepted, and register for classes by June 1, which I know is coming up, you can get our early enrollment scholarship. So for those of you who have already applied and you just have one or two things to do to go ahead and finish up your application, do that today or tomorrow, get it done, let us read it for you, and hopefully you can register for classes by June 1 and get that scholarship. If not, there's always our spring term, and if you're really ambitious, applying for next summer. So I don't see any questions in the chat, which is okay. So with that, I will say thank you to everybody for coming, and I certainly hope that if you have questions, you'll reach out and that we'll see your application soon. So everybody have a great day. Thank you so much for being with us.